Hello, everyone. Welcome back inside the film room. I'm Zach Goins, and today I'm joined by the one and only Tituss Burgess. He plays the narrator on season 2 of Schmigadoon, Apple TV Plus's Emmy award-winning musical theater comedy. Tituss, how are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm excited to chat with you. This season of Schmigadoon, Schmicago has been so much fun, and you are the new addition here. Coming into after season 1 introduced us to this cast, these characters. Now you're stepping in as a new addition, the narrator. I'm so glad you did because it's fun watching you. I'm sure you are as well.
I'm glad to.
What was the from the outside looking in a season 1 and then getting to come in and join? I know you're obviously a Broadway star. You've been in television shows. When you're looking from the outside in, are you like, Schmigadoon, that's right up my alley. I want to be a part of that.
So I had this chat with, I guess it was Cinco or maybe it was Andrew Singer, but like before Schmigadoon was Schmigadoon, it was like this general. And they were telling me about this idea. I was like, oh, that's really interesting, and we just sort of lightly chatted about what maybe I would want to do just in life in general and types of projects I want to be a part of. So when I got the call about season 2, I had forgotten that I'd spoken to these people. So I was a little thrown that they wanted me to join at all. But, I had already watched season 1 and was a huge fan and sort of marveled at how they seamlessly were able to borrow from pre-existing musical theater tropes and to create a wholly new story that was three-dimensional and human, and with these larger than life characters of the Rodgers and Hammerstein era, and Learn and Low era, and so I was curious how this was going to be dissimilar, how season 2 would be dissimilar to season 1,
Right.
And when they told me I played the narrator and it would be in the likeness of the leading player from Pippin, and I'm a huge fan of Ben Vereen and all that he's contributed to the musical theater lexicon, so it was an honor to sort of be able to both be a part of this esteemed cast and with these creatives, but also to sort of dare to dance in the shoes of a giant like Ben Vereen, and just thank you for carving out some space for a little brown boy like me. So I loved it.
It takes some of the pressure off. I feel like knowing that it's inspired by this character, so you're still getting to have the fun that you want to as playing this character, but at the same time it's not like, oh, you were the leading player if people have to measure you up against other leading players.
Exactly. I'm not, I don't dance. I can barely walk. So this was not going to ever be, it was never going to be that. But the essence of it and the way the function of the narrator in shows in the 60s and 70s and early 80s would work. That's how the narrator in our series worked. And so I had lots to mine for and borrow from, but our concept was wholly uniquely our own. So I didn't have to live up to anything, but rather just honor and say thank you.
Well, it's right up there with the best of them. So I'm sure I speak for all of the audience when I say that. But when you're picking projects and, like coming from someone who you have a TV experience, you have Broadway experience, a lot of the times I feel like you have to, select one or the other or something like that. But like you're mentioning, when you're in Schmicago, in Schmigadoon, you're not doing Godspell or Pippin, you're doing both.
You're doing right.
Sort of the appeal as someone who is so invested in the musical theater business that I'm going to knock out 5 or 6 productions with one.
Well, I mean, I suppose selfishly, it is true that some of these roles, many of us in the cast will never play, but are right for and could do, could have done, at some point in our adult life. But that certainly is one of the is part of the appeal to be able to sit inside the sort of broader lexicon of doing a Godspell while you're doing Jesus Christ Superstar, or doing Sally Bowles, while you're dancing with Velma Kelly, a little of the, things sort of sprinkled in there. And Cinco so seamlessly, him and Andrew and the rest of the writing team so seamlessly wove, they were able to weave so many different storylines and so many different colors from so many musicals that we know and love, seamlessly weave them together, that none of them felt like they were fighting with the other.
Right, everything just works together so perfectly,
Yeah,
bouncing between each one, and the Easter eggs, the references, there's so much to pick from.
Absolutely.
Well, I know you were the new member in the cast, one of the new members, but it's a big reunion. I know you and Jane Krakowski have worked together from 30 Rock to Kimmy Schmidt. You've got The Center of the Universe coming this summer. How has that relationship grown? Obviously, you're very close to have worked together for so long, but to get to come and do something as fun and whimsical as this together, because you both are a hoot in this.
Oh, thank you. First of all, Jane is one of the most dynamic performers I think I've ever had the pleasure to work with. She is gifted beyond measure and very, very smart. She could just rely on being pretty, or that she can dance, or that she's funny, but there's always something more underneath all of those wonderful things that she houses naturally. Because it comes so naturally to her, people often, I think that there isn't a great deal of work that is going into what she's doing. But every moment is thought through. Every moment is tested. Every moment is pruned so that honesty comes forward. What is my relationship with her like? She's like the sister I never knew I wanted. Sometimes a sister I wish I didn't have. I'm not even gonna lie, I would tell her this to her face. But she loves me and I love her. And it is a complex, beautiful relationship steeped in support and respect for one another.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to see one of you in something, and then when the other pops up, then that's how you know it's going to be good. So as a fan, it's nice to have you two together again. But your character, the narrator, I love you referenced some of the different versions of this character that are throughout different musical theater productions. And I love the way that specifically in Schmicago, there's a very meta self-awareness of because you have Josh and Melissa, being like, this is how this works, calling out the rules of everything.
Right.
It's a new element to this character, and you bring that the sarcasm. You can get as messy as you want. You come in, you throw a little grenade, watch everything explode. You're the instigator. What is that like to kind of just drop in, cause drama, and then say see you later,
and then leave and peace out? Yeah, no, if life were only that easy. I'm normally typically required to be jovial and ebullient and full of sunlight. And while many of my days are circling that airport, there is a darker side to me that I wrestle with, just like everyone else wrestles with. And so to be able to bring some of that darkness, harness to make good of some of that darkness was a real treat. The truth is, last summer I was going through a breakup of 10 years. We were together for 10 years and it was really not fun. And so I was not in the healthiest space. So I literally just used all of that angst and allowed myself on camera to be as facetious and maniacal and malicious as I felt. And it worked. And
you got your happy beginning to be a little corny here.
And I got my happy beginning. Yeah. So it was a real treat to really be able to exist in on camera in some different colors than I'm normally used to existing in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've got a couple quick fun questions here
to
wrap things up. In a real live stage production, anything can happen on a show night. We've got understudies who are ready to step in at a moment's notice. Assuming Schmicago was a stage production and you were an understudy, what role would you want to step into outside of the narrator? to just dabble in for a little bit? Like, do we want to be a little Josh, a little Dooley Blight? What kind of role are you thinking?
Oh God.
The leprechaun, perhaps, stay in that meta omniscient
Right.
universe.
I probably want to be Jane's character.
Can we get the acrobatics up there?
I'd have to work out a little bit, but like Jane has the most fun as far as I'm concerned.
Bobby Flanagan,
Yeah.
she's beyond just the bells and whistles scene. She's hysterical throughout. So I'd like to see it.
He's hysterical.
I would love to see it. Well, obviously we've done Schmigadoon season 1 was that golden age. If we progress to this Schmicago season, we've got the 60s and 70s. If we keep moving forward to the 80s and the 90s, is there a specific show that you would like to see tackled in a future season? Something that would really bring it home for you?
I mean, there's so many. I love Studying the Part with George. We could stay in Sondheim land, forever, as far as I'm concerned. I would love to see Assassins. I think that would be really fun and really easy to pull into our Schmicago verse or Schmigadoon verse, if you will. Miss Saigon,
Miss Schmigadoon, if you will.
Schmigadoon could be really fun. I mean, I really, we didn't get a chance to really visit The Wiz, but that would be fun. And even some of the lesser known, it might be harder for audience to find an end, but like there's musicals in the 80s that I love. The Your Arms Too Short to Box with God that Stephanie Mills toured with and did. I think that'd be fun. A Forum will be fun. I mean, there's so many worlds that we could live.
It sounds like there's plenty of possibilities for a season.
Yes.
I love that. Well, here we go. The last question. Schmigadoon brought Broadway to Apple TV Plus. Now, if we were to reverse it and we're taking Apple TV Plus to Broadway, outside of Schmigadoon, what show, Ted Lasso, a Severance, Morning Show, what show do you think would have the best potential to be a Broadway musical?
You took it right. I'm at Morning Show.
That would be messy.
It would be right, and it would need to have a Tom Kitt treatment, not entirely dissimilar to Next to Normal sonically. That sounds. It needs to be as manic as that. But that show, so good, so good.
If we could get Jen and Reese up there too. I don't know if they have the vocals, but I'll try it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'd go.
Awesome. Well, Tituss, thank you so much. I love the season. You were a blast to chat with, and I'm excited to follow everything that comes for season 2 and season 3 and beyond. So thank you.
Right on. Thank you, brother.